Everybody, thank you for tuning in to Dave and Joe Liberty Stand. We have a guest here, Frank.
That's me.
All right, I remember the name. That's a good part for a host to remember your guest's name.
Better.
So I try to pride myself. So anyway, and Dave, what are your thoughts? How do you want to what do you want to ask or talk about here?
Well, first of all, let's just hit the big one first and get it out of the way. We won't spend a lot of time on this. We've done it with other guests tonight. But what do you think about the presidential race? And do you like anyone?
No.
Do you not like anyone? Good answer.
No.
That's right.
No.
Okay, why? Why do you say that?
Well, I've honestly lost most of my faith in both of the parties, considering that the last race with Obama, I sort of had faith in him, and then as soon as he was elected, there was all those bailouts and stuff like that. So Democratic Party, threw someone up front, and it completely betrayed me. And then coming up here, the Bernie movement, which I was very for, and I am still for, but I'm not. Okay, sorry.
No, I want to question.
Oh, you said hang on?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I want to.
No, go, please.
Dave. First, I get to ask.
No, go on.
What did you like about Bernie Sanders?
Oh, the campaign reform, or campaign finance reform. That is my most.
So you don't think
important.
people should be able to donate money?
No, they should, but not like super PACs. And I don't think.
Do you know what super PACs are?
I think they're from what I've gathered, they are huge corporations that have
super.
Can
Okay.
kind of buy the politicians they want.
Do you know what?
Is that what kind of?
Do you know what you know about the union?
The union of.
Well, whatever union. Unions in general.
I've heard of unions.
In general.
Yes.
In general.
I've heard of unions. Yes.
And you know about the NRA.
The NRA, yeah.
And you know, these are groups of people that come together that are all concerned about a specific cause.
Okay.
And they all put their money together to lobby for that cause. So it's a way for lots of people with some money to get together and put it all together to make it a lot of money to try to push their agenda.
Yeah.
That's called free speech.
Yeah.
And
Is that called super PAC?
it is.
Okay.
That is what a super. Ted Cruz. I was a huge. I don't know if you know this, Joe, but I was a big Ted Cruz supporter. I was, and actually.
And why?
Remember when I made you go see him when he was here?
Well, because he was.
So you're saying it's the people that are causing these super PACs.
And people say corporate. Who's corporations? What are corporations? Well, they're people. Who's at the?
I mean, I'm close. I mean, they're honestly they're huge corporations that honestly that have made so much money that they have the rights of people. Like they can almost
kind of control. Maybe is that what you're thinking? The control.
I guess. But the fact they have the rights of people, I guess, is what I would say.
Well,
is like when they get to so big that they have the rights of people and then they can even vote. I guess. The fact that all their income has a say in what the
kind of like
laws and
maybe
stuff
corruption. Is that what you're seeing?
You're saying they're buying
corruption.
laws to be passed for their favor, is what you're saying.
I mean, I don't want to say like that all the time. They're always just
Well, no, I mean that is their goal. It certainly is. Well, but with the NRA,
they just want to make the situation better for them, and I wouldn't. Why wouldn't they? They're a business,
right?
Well, businesses have the same rights as people, so why wouldn't they just make it better for them?
Okay, here's how did this start? We got off the beaten path here.
Oh well,
I forgot where we were at.
We were starting
Thank
with
God
super
for
PACs.
Frank.
We were starting with super PACs. I'm not
Right.
Well, actually, I said that I was a Bernie fan, but then
That's where I wanted to go.
That's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said I was a Bernie fan, and then of course he endorsed Hillary, and I was like, oh well.
See how my
same
mind
thing
works?
with same thing with the
It
Obama
catches this little
administration.
corner and it shoots off somewhere else and
I get it.
ricochets
I get
somewhere
it.
else. But no, basically with Bernie, he's a socialist. We live in
You guys
America.
scoot this way here.
There are. Move the camera.
No, it's cool. We can all fit in here. We can all fit.
But anyway,
No, I get he's a socialist. Yeah, he wants to.
we don't need that here.
He wants to put money into
Every
things
place
that
else
are,
on this planet is a socialist country. You can go somewhere else if you want that.
I mean, just like a lot of successful ones. Like,
Well,
No, they're not.
is socialism though another word for dictatorship? Would you say
It is dictatorship larva. It is
It's just
the
part-
beginning
it's-
of it.
okay.
It's the start.
see, it's just really weird that like when you bring up socialism, that you think that you're like giving all the fucking power to the government, but in the end,
You are.
In the end,
I get
wait,
that,
in
but
the
what
end,
are we? What have we been doing already? Like, have we not already?
That's what I want to put a stop to. That's why I'm trying to promote the
The
Constitution.
direction that we're
The correction. I want to
Going.
correct.
The direction I said we're going.
But I want to
But how do you
correct the
correct
So
direction.
you're definitely you're against the Democratic Party because you don't want to put all that.
I'm
that
against the
power
Democratic
into the
Party,
money that,
and I'm against 90% of the
See,
Republican Party.
I get it with the Obama thing, with him just throwing fucking trillions of dollars towards fucking bailing out everybody. I get that, but when it comes to campaign finance reform, that really needs to be addressed, and it's never been, and it really needs to come up.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that. You know what?
And I understand that he has been someone that was probably put there and has probably manipulated us. I see that now.
You talking about Bernie?
Yeah, completely. Because he's endorsing Hillary Clinton now.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Like,
And this guy that
So,
talks
but
about
that
the rich
happens.
people
It happens
just bought
every
himself a
goddamn election.
third house, a beachfront property.
So like,
Who's this? Who?
Bernie Sanders.
so
Yeah,
here we
this
are.
week.
So here we are. So here we are arguing
Yeah.
one of the other fucking candidates when honestly neither of them are really.
right.
I can't. I will not vote for either one of them. I can't.
Yeah. Well, neither can I.
And
Like,
people
Trump
get
or
mad.
Hillary? Are you kidding me? Like, what the
Isn't
fuck?
that crazy where we've come to though? I mean, with
When's the
that-
last election that this many people? We've talked to other people tonight. Same thing.
Yeah.
I've talked to other people and just generally
They're like,
talking
I
to people
can't
on the street.
vote
I
for
mean, in my
either.
regular life.
Yeah.
Same thing. I've watched my shows and audiences talking about the same thing. This is not just this is a massive thing. I don't remember the last election where everybody
No,
would
and-
vomit at the thought of voting for either one
But
of the
see, there's
candidates.
some
no,
things
that's what's
voted for
what's
that.
happening. That's the weird thing. Like anyone you talk to who's like actually been involved with all the information and shit, like it's just
Right.
it's been like this. It's been like this, and I'm not gonna deny that. I'm a young guy, and I'm very novice to the political.
Well, now,
agenda.
hey, you got the best guide you can possibly have.
Oh,
in
yeah.
your pocket. Oh, right there.
right around
Yeah,
here,
the,
around my back
Constitution.
pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I'll tell you the most important thing to if you don't read anything else, you read the first 10 amendments. That is the Bill of
I
Rights.
know I was raised Catholic. I know what the first.
So, sometimes commandments. You're thinking
Commandments.
commandments. Those are
Excuse me.
important too.
I know. Okay, excuse me. I've
Let's
had
get
government
into-
class. They're the same thing.
Let's get into the religion conversation now.
There
right?
are there are two
Frank's
things.
like,
So
oh, we're in trouble.
so that's how important religion was.
There are-
They're the same thing.
There are two things in America that matter the most. That are the first 10. That's the first 10 commandments and the first 10 amendments in the Constitution.
Yeah.
You know those.
Excuse me.
If you know just those two things,
okay.
Excuse them.
That's okay, but
If
they,
you know
they kind of
just-
are get you confused.
just those
Yeah.
two things.
They can-
Seriously.
Yeah.
No, nothing. You know what? You don't want to read the Bible? Okay, but know your 10 commandments. You don't want to read the Constitution? Know the first 10 amendments. If you know those two things and you live by those, you're gonna.
Well, but the
you're-
problem is we don't want to live under authority of something, someone. We want to be free to do what we want to do when we want to do it. That's why we want
America
free
is based
education.
on power
We
comes from God to us,
Right.
and then we give
To the government.
to the government.
Versus.
Now,
It is, but that's running out.
Yeah, you're
That's
exactly right.
very
It is. It is.
right? It's reversed. Well, there is no God because the government's the God now.
Right. Yeah.
That's why all communists, socialists started, and then they develop into a communist country.
Yeah.
They've got to get rid of God because you can't have anything else to believe in except for the government. And that's
Well, it's
why-
funny you said it because, like, honestly, America throughout their history, like, they've been fighting democracy pretty much the whole time. Like,
Yes, that's what makes America special. We are the first planet,
the First Nation,
First island.
Take two. the first.
I'm gonna get one too then
What
for the
planet are
Amendment
we on?
Commandment thing. I'm gonna just get one. I want a mulligan at least.
Watch some of our old shows. Trust me, you're fine. You're fine.
That's what makes
mulligan.
it so entertaining is the mulligans that we keep going.
I can't believe I didn't tell Joe. I forbid you to put that.
Are you a golfer or something, Frank?
Am I a golfer?
Are you a golfer?
Oh fuck no.
Because isn't that what a mulligan is?
It's a mulligan.
People can still use phraseology.
You can apply it.
One retry. That's it. One retry, and it's still It's still kosher.
Right. That's cool.
But anyway.
This is fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like, I'm really glad you guys are talking about this because I'm not very educated on the subject, but I still enjoy talking about it because at least this way, I can feel like I don't have a say, but I can at least specify what my say is. How can you figure out how you feel unless you put it against someone else?
Here's the thing: knowledge is everything. Like a lot of people don't know what we're talking about. I mean, that's why we have fun on the street talking to people because they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. And we'll come up and we'll start talking like, and they're like, "What?" but it's like, okay, and we start talking about like remember the gal last year at the Mosey when I offered her a Constitution, she goes, "Well, I don't really.
Oh yeah,
I'm not too good with rules against me or something."
Right. And I'm like, she didn't like rules.
No,
but Constitution
this is your freedoms. This is the rules against the government for making rules against you. I mean, they don't even.
It's everything you want.
Yeah. Well, and I think the people, the Bible, they look at the same. So we'll go into that segue. But the Bible, we look at that too, right? It's about those are telling me what I can't do. But think about all the things that God says you can do. You can do all these things, but why does God say, and why did the government, or why did the Constitution, the people who wrote it, say what they said? Because they were trying to protect the people, right? Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And that's what God does with the Bible. He's trying to protect us. He says, okay, do not do this, because if you do, you will die. He literally said that to Adam and Eve. Do not take from that fruit, because you will die. So when we go after these things,
I think it was a little more intense than that. It was like all of human race will suffer.
Will suffer from your
forever.
Yes.
Forever.
I don't know if
that's why we all have to wear clothes now. So
well, that's true. Yeah.
Hey, like, don't fuck up. Everyone else is like you. It's gonna. Yeah, they're gonna feel it. Don't fuck up.
well, and then because he knew what was going to happen. He knew his son would have to go to the cross.
Right.
For that.
But you know what? We're pretty lucky.
And he did.
For that.
Yeah, we need to be very grateful for that. That's right. But I mean, I think that's a neat kind of connection though between the two big tens, right? Because it's like you were saying that girl is like she thought it was preventing her from joy. And I think a lot of people look at faith or Christianity that way too. It's like, oh, I should be allowed to do what I want to do when I want to do it, right? But no, life has boundaries though.
Yeah.
There's laws. There's laws of nature, right? I mean, you look at gravity. Thank God for gravity.
No,
we'd be all floating around.
I've got scars. I've got scars to prove.
There's always laws.
Yeah. Then laws are good, but what happens is we try to go around those, and then look what happens. Look where we're at in our country.
Well, exactly. Look where we're at. All right, seriously, I don't want to watch this later and watch half of my face the whole time.
You're doing, no, I think you're just wobbly. He's just wobbly.
And you've cut off
wobbly. So anyway, do you want to? You have any other questions for Frank here? Do you have any?
Actually, I was going to ask him. Does he have any?
Yeah. Do you have any like?
I guess. You guys vote for anybody?
Oh, voting for anybody?
We're going to underticket. I'm going to vote for the underticket, and there's a new independent that just came in.
Who?
For the life of me, I can't remember his name. He's new. I just heard about him this past week.
Thank God.
Please
bring as many people as you can.
He won't win, but if
bring him in.
If he's on the ballot, I've heard him on Glenn Beck's show on the Blaze.
Okay.
And the Blaze TV. If you don't have it, get the Blaze TV. Seriously. He's a good guy. Well, he'll be the only independent. There's a Democrat, Republican. There's a Green Party. There's Gary Bauer, or is that right? Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson, the libertarian. And he's not a libertarian. I can't vote for him. And then there's this independent guy that's he was in the CIA. He's a serious dude, and I like him a lot. Just from the little bit I know about him, I like him better than any of the others. So just so I won't not vote for a president, I might vote for him.
As long as you vote. That's all that matters.
But no, I'll vote for my senators. I'll vote for the Congress.
That's one thing Dave talks about is local.
Even if you don't not vote just because you're not voting for the president.
That is the
vote
most,
for your local people.
The most important.
Because that's the most, that affects your life the most.
Well, I wonder, though, it's almost like, okay, the federal government's so big and powerful. Does the state governments... it's just like when North Carolina did that bathroom bill thing.
I'm going to have you read for a moment.
And then the federal government came in and said, no, that's discrimination. You remember? Do you remember
the transgender
North Carolina?
things?
Yeah, about the bathroom thing in North Carolina. But the federal government came in and said, oh, no, you can't do that. We're going to take away money. So what? But what are you getting at? What are you saying?
Read Amendment 10.
The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people.
I mean, like, were you surprised though? Obama,
that means the federal government has squat to say.
There's
but the thing
been,
is, they are. Go ahead.
I mean, when it comes to when Obama's under power, there's been more states coming into
against.
No, not against. There's been the LGBT movement has been.
I missed the first part of this conversation.
When Obama came in power, there's been the most progress to LGBT and all that stuff.
If you want to call that,
there's been the most states that have passed.
Here's what I want to know. Rights. If I got a business, this is my boss's business. It's not mine. That Constitution says I got the right. I can refuse service to anybody for any reason. Now I don't like that. Like I said, we talked to this lesbian couple. I think they're great. I love both of them. I think they're all. I invited them to get on Facebook and get in touch with us later to do a further show to see how they're doing later. Because I'm not against anybody, but if somebody is, hey, that's their problem. And I'll tell you what, wouldn't you rather know? Why do you want somebody to be forced to serve you for what? Like I'm old, long-haired, heterosexual, doughy white guy.
That's your description.
If they don't want to serve my type, okay, that's fine. There's plenty of places that want my money. I don't have to go there. Just like smoking or not smoking. You know what? Why does every place have to be not smoking? I mean, there's plenty of places to go.
I see
this stuff. I'm saying it's the same thing to me. I want to know if somebody doesn't want this kind of element in my store because I'd never go there, even if I wasn't that person, because they are.
I'm going to say this: that's fine for them, and they can honestly put all the effort to making it so that that's not what's going to happen to them. But the thing is that that's part of it is that they're going to get that pressure against them. There's people who want to go to that place who are against all of those rules, and they're going to do it. That's as long as he knows that's what's going to happen. Then all to him. As long as he knows.
And do you know why government has anything to say so about marriage at all? You know
about marriage?
Yeah.
Because taxation. There's a lot of laws.
There's some of that, but do you know when that's... in the old days, like pre-Civil War, it was between you and your church. That was it. That all you had to do was go to church. I love this woman. This woman loves me, and it was the rules of the church, basically.
I get that, but the Federal Reserve wasn't completely.
Well, the Federal Reserve's a financial thing.
But that's why the reason that people.
No, it's not.
It's what I think.
You had to get a license after the Civil War. Now think about this. What happened after the Civil War?
To what?
To get married.
Okay.
Because they didn't want. They refused to let
black and
white people to be married.
Right. After the Civil War,
because obviously
everything was just everyone had to apply to.
Yes, and you do. You're not. I'm divorced, so I know. I mean, you go get a license.
Yeah, marriage license.
Yes.
So the government then had its hand in.
That's how they got
marriage.
started in America,
Right.
having a marriage license because of prejudice reasons. To keep, we want to keep things.
Right.
Now those laws have changed, but now it's still. But now you still have the federal government. You still have them involved in your marriage. Which why? So
You're never gonna not.
If you want to marry a tree, you know what? If you're a nut job and you say I want to marry this tree, and you find somebody that says I'll marry you to this tree,
go fuck a bear and you can marry it.
What job?
As long as you fucking throw the money
What? You know
towards
what?
them, like it's gonna happen.
I don't give a shit. You know what you want. I don't care. That does,
Yeah.
But I mean, I know what if I got.
But that's
married again. That wouldn't affect me.
That's kind of how it is right now. Like if you have marriage it's very controversial, but if that's what you're going for and you fight for it.
Marrying a tree or a bear? Which one?
Well, both, I guess. but what you're going for, though, if you have the vindication,
the desire, maybe, or
like if you really want to do it,
right,
then that's what you go for. Like that's what America's about. If you want to do it, then that's really what you're fighting for, and whether or not they do it or not.
I think the wall that's coming up too that we're hitting is like where if I have, it's just like abortion. If you have a conviction, and like I don't want to give my money to someone like the government who's been paying for abortions. So in the other part of this though, with the marriage thing is the conviction. If I have a personal conviction, the government shouldn't force me to do something against my personal.
He's saying
conviction.
we shouldn't use our tax money against ourselves with our personal beliefs and principles and values.
If he has a particular belief,
so the fact that you don't want people using the money for abortion.
If we think and we do that's killing babies, and they're using my money to help do that, I got a problem with that.
No, and I agree, and that's why politics is so controversial.
Yeah.
Because the fact that when you bring Republicans or Democrats to the people
but
who are...
Here's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones making legislation.
If you stick with this, that's the Constitution, folks.
You can try.
We don't have any of that because it doesn't allow for that.
But what about the person who like this has happened? I have a photography business, and this same-sex couple comes and they want me to take the pictures. Well, I say I'm sorry, I cannot participate in that union, but here's someone else who could do the pictures. Well, then they come back and they sue me or they discrimination against me as a photographer. I'm having to go to jail, go all these fines. Is that right?
Well, I'm going to hope that
even
is
lawyer
not the situation.
I
hope that hasn't happened to you.
It hasn't to me, but it's happened to people in the United States.
I'm sorry that happened to them, but I really hope that they can see that is your right to refuse service is definitely still there. Whether
it should be, but
for whatever reason it is.
Is this still recording? Do we have this much time on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
We're good.
Okay.
But go ahead. I want to hear.
No, but it's like I said.
But it's happening though.
That's fine. I mean, if that is your reason for refusing service, and that's your reason.
But they have been fined, and they've been.
Well, that is their routes of like countering it, I guess. And I don't know. You have to fight that.
Right. They are trying to fight it. I mean, there was
you have to fight it. You have to fight it, and they have to fight it. The photographer is trying to fight it. Yeah, right. I know. What I'm saying
what I'm saying? Yeah.
You guys both have a battle to work with.
So who do you think? I mean, so you think the couple has a right to, like, they're offended that they can take that other person's right away just because they don't agree with them?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Moral beliefs?
I would say that if they are not getting the service that they expect, then they have the right to bring it up to other people that, like, okay, for some reason, we could not do what everyone else could. And I'm not saying it's against your rights to say that they can't do that. But if other people agree with them, then they should know.
So like a court, like a judge and a jury.
No, because
that's where it would go to. Because that's what you're saying. Because when they take you
because
to court,
that would be that they have to that you would have to do it for them.
Right.
So.
But that's what's happening in now. That's where we're headed.
Move closer to Joe, buddy.
It's just like the bathroom. It's just like the bathroom thing. They're forcing.
Oh boy, yeah, that's
the thing is, it's like two people's rights. This person feels offended, but this person is being forced to do something that they
extremely controversial.
You do not have the right.
Go ahead.
To not be offended. I'm sorry.
Okay, do you understand that?
No, I do.
He can offend me.
That's extremely controversial.
Okay.
Extremely.
Now, but the problem is what's happening in our country is, I'm offended. I'm going to sue you. You're going to have to go to prison.
Okay.
You have to pay fines.
Frank, how
That's
old
not right.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 25.
You're 25 years old.
Yes.
Do you realize? I'm sure Ivy Tech is nothing like this. It's a different school.
I've been to public schools.
But in college campuses, there are fucking, sorry, Joe, safe zones.
Bleep that out. We'll bleep it.
Safe zones.
Well, where you
because people are afraid of speech.
Speech.
What kind of pussies are we
speech.
growing here in this country? I'm sorry.
Are you gonna okay? So what is honestly the route to avoid this, though? What is the route to avoid this?
Get the government out of the damn education. They're not supposed to be in there.
They shouldn't govern morality.
It is the government. They dictate what is taught. And they're the ones teaching these little kids since they're this high about PC
You know what that is?
They are the ones that stop certain things from being taught in school. But the thing is,
and they're the ones that are being taught the wrong things in school.
What gets taught in school, though, is mostly dictated by the community.
No, not anymore.
Yes.
No, to get the money, they have
That's
to.
extremely important, though.
I know some teachers.
You need a strong community. Your community needs
you are right at all. He is right on
too.
this. Strong. That's why your local elections are way more important.
Right.
And we're at the point now.
To education,
we don't have any good choices at the federal level, so we've got to make our
because that's who's going there.
Our local
that's
and
who's
state,
going there eventually.
Our local and state as strong as we can because of those things to fight against that kind of stuff. So,
I think when it comes to your community, you're not going to be happy when that happens. That's a sad part about whether or not you're voting within your community. It's not going to be everything you want to happen. But when your kid's going to that school and you have a say in it, that's your community level is when you finally have a say in it. When it comes to federal government or anything else, that's
a federal judge. A parent was.
You can be involved in the community. You can't really be involved.
A federal judge ruled. I can't. It wasn't the Supreme Court, but it was on the steps of. Somebody was unhappy about what they were teaching their child at that school, and he said, "I'm sorry,
evolution.
I want my kid. I don't care. It doesn't matter. That's the parent's kid. I don't care if they don't want that kid being."
The government's saying
they're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. And it went, and they were like, hey, that's my child, and I want to raise my child my way. And the federal judge said, you relinquish your rights as a parent when your child comes into this school.
Oh, that's really irritating.
And you are that child is a pupil of the federal
that's
government.
Happening.
That's horseshit, and that's got to stop now.
And that's what
I do agree with
that's what his concern is with where the government's going. It's just it's so powerful. It's corrupt, but it's also teaching our children that, any lifestyle is okay. And as a parent, they're telling me I can't tell my child, well, the way God designed us.
You guys aren't against you guys aren't against most people. This is all you guys.
We want to communicate.
The government, right? You want to be against the government. It's just important. You don't want to.
The federal government has overstepped itself by $1 billion.
Yeah, it's been for.
I'm against the federal government.
80 years.
Basically, look. This is the federal government.
Been a very long time.
This is the federal government's role in our life.
And
do you know what it is?
How many pages was the
just remember? But just remember that, like,
Health
it's not,
plan, yeah.
it's not fighting everyone else.
Right, yes.
That's gonna make you.
We don't fight each other.
I agree.
We don't fight each other.
Right.
You guys
Frank's-
are gonna fight each other? No, but like,
No,
like,
I
mean,
I see what Frank's saying.
I'm saying I don't go, hey, you're a black guy, or you're a lesbian, or you're a
No,
gay
I know,
dude.
but
I'm
like,
saying,
yeah, well, that's what Frank said. We don't fight amongst each other.
but they're
But that's
doing
what,
that.
yes.
Black Lives
I agree.
Matter.
Just remember that,
all
I
that
agree,
stuff.
yeah,
That,
yeah.
everything that's going on right now, that like whatever you care for, that like just remember that everyone else has the same passion for it.
Yeah, they have a passion for what they believe in.
And so as long as you remember that, like you guys are talking,
You have
you
to,
guys are
right.
fighting the same person.
No,
I mean,
I see what he's saying.
It's the same-
We like
yeah.
to talk. We get people all the time that have a different point of view,
and we
let them go.
we need to be able to listen to one another.
And we let them go, and then we question them.
Like I'm gonna tell you, like I'm not like the most like huge religious fanatic or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not. I'm also not a parent. I'm also not.
Well, I'm not a parent.
Well, like I'm not. I don't know. Like I don't have any like racial reasons to speak out politically, but
What
I
is
just-
your ethnicity?
I'm about half Mexican.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like, yeah, I don't really like when it comes to me politically. I just I have my reasons for things, but
Yeah.
it's just
Well,
mostly. I
definitely.
just think it's just things that like when people have problems with the government,
Right.
it's always against everyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
But
right.
the thing is that like
That's
it's always but everyone
We-
everyone
we-
everyone has problems with the government though. Why does people?
Why do we want them in charge more?
Well, why does everyone?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
why does everyone has problems
Right.
with each other when everyone's problems with the government?
Yes.
Well,
He just said it right
yeah.
there. That
Amen.
was the.
There's no reason.
That's just
So
the money
thanks for
line.
There's no
Tune
reason
in.
to divide each other.
Yeah, because I gotta have a cigarette really bad.
That's
so we'll
fine.
see you.
Yeah. Hey, thanks
see
a lot,
you
Frank.
coming.
God bless you,
No,
brother.
no
Thanks
problem,
for being
no
here.
problem.
We appreciate it.
We'll see
All right. God bless y'all. Take care.